I wish to address a certain issue this evening, one of which that I'm very well against. To those of you who know me well enough, the disrespect of women, particularly in this area because of the whole redneck thing. 10 minutes before I arrived at a bar a couple weekends ago during the Halloween holiday, a girl was friends with my sister and was dressed somewhat provocatively as Ariel, the Little Mermaid from a Disney movie, which turning out to something provocative kind of seems strange being as it is a Disney movie. But anyway, while she was down there, I suppose this guy in a wheelchair, a cripple, actually grabbed her something, and when she went to get away, he started chasing her down, wheeling towards her. I get told about this the day after because by the time I got down there, it had been 10 minutes and the whole problem was done for. Which really sucks because I always miss my opportunities to display my talents by this much. My sister tells me about this incident the day after and informs me this guy is in a wheelchair, and I'm thinking, well, what more could I do to him? Well, I guess I could have added a feeding tube to the whole decor or whatever. But hey, why don't I show you how this little incident went if I was down at the bar at this point in time. He goes to grab the girl, I happen to see it. I automatically would jump in between without even thinking about the risks involved because that's just my nature. It's the martial art training, the code of honor thing. And I would have placed my foot upon his wheelchair holding him back, and I would have leaned in, more or less, and this is what he probably would have seen was, I implore you to reconsider this action you're taking at this point in time. Why should I? Because the girl's under my protection. Rather or not she actually has any interest in me or what have you, it doesn't matter. You don't treat women like that. Well, who the hell are you? Let's just say you don't know me, and there are things about me that I promise you do not want to find out. You won't be finding them out if you decide to quit this foolishness. And if he didn't quit the foolishness, he of course would have found out. And would have been eating from a feeding tube. Another incident in another bar I frequent, because apparently I give in to my Irish nature a bit too much. There's a waitress. Beautiful, beautiful waitress. I, of course, don't tell her this to face because some women are not very comfortable with that, so I don't do it. Granted, it would probably be nice to hear it from time to time, especially from a guy as cute as me. Anyway, there was this drunkard in there. And yes, that could be the excuse used. Oh, he was drunk. That's just the way people get. I've been drunk many a time. I have never lost my wit because of it. And trust me, I can put down quite a few Jack and Cokes. But he kept saying very rude things to her, and one thing just almost set me off. She pointed at him, I guess, as to say, "Stop. I don't appreciate that. You're making me feel uncomfortable," is what I heard her say. And he goes, oh, I'd love to see what you do with that finger. That's a little far, even for a drunkard. But I let it go. She seemed to be okay after all that, after telling him that she was being made uncomfortable. She walked by him a few times to continue with her job as a waitress, and he called her over and all that, and she didn't go over. And then I hear him make a comment saying something along the lines of, hell, I've been playing with my dinkus longer than she's been alive. Again, very disrespectful. My roommate was sitting there and he saw me immediately put down my knife and stop enjoying my extremely bloody steak, which you don't see me do very often because I enjoy my rare steak. And he's like, dude, you're not thinking about fighting him, are you? I'm like, not yet, but if he continues this stupidity, I'm going to have to. It's just that I was thinking, it's your choice, buddy. Do you want the alcohol to knock you on your ass? Or do you want me to knock you on your ass first? But that's just it. There's so much disrespect of women going around. It's making me sick. And the idea of chivalry is dying out completely, and it seems I'm one of very few that's trying to keep it on life support. I do have my asshole moments, like any guy, yes. But like I said, I have a certain code I follow, and I hold to that rather strictly. Now, let's see if I can collect my thoughts here, but to me, women, regardless of how they dress, if they're obviously beautiful and whatnot, a man should consider them as a beautiful piece of artwork in a gallery. Everyone knows you're free to look, but you dare not touch unless you're given very special permission. What I'm trying to say is, do not disrespect these women. Do not touch them unwanted. Because you never know if there is a guy like me sitting there watching all this go on. Chances are you're going to get hurt. And a lot of people are going to be like, why don't you just call the cops and whatnot? Well, the cops aren't going to do shit. They're going to have to do this whole investigation bullshit. By that time, the girl's probably already raped. I would rather handle the situation my own way. Walk in, say something. If they want to take a swing like an idiot, then I will drop them. As easy as that. Well, what if they have a gun? If it's a case of rape, and I see it going on, and a side story. Back whenever I lived in Millersburg, I used to take a walk at night, well, 3 in the morning, essentially, dark hours, we'll say. Yes, very cliche goth of me, but I used to take this walk quite often. But the one night I decided not to, there's a girl raped right along the path where I would normally walk. Now, had I been there, I could have stopped it. So, obviously, I'm feeling like I need to redeem myself because of that situation. So now, any single time I go to a bar where I know there's going to be beautiful girls, I'm, you know, obviously going to attempt to flirt with them, but I'm also going to be extremely vigilant. To me, it seems that too many people do not want to even bother trying to stop this stuff out of fear for their own sake. I, on the other hand, have the vigilante idea of, well, in my honor, I could possibly stop this. Should I get stabbed, shot, whatever? I gave the girl plenty of time to escape such a situation, and if I die, I died with honor. So there it is. It's just one of those things where it's a matter of personal perception on such a thing, I guess you could say. Like one man, that's all I am, is just one man as a simplistic voice on the internet at this point in time. Chances are I'm not going to be seen by any of these women beating ass fucks, but I do hope that I am seen. And I do hope these idiots decide to actually confront me about me talking so big about it. Because I will beat the piss out of anyone that I see committing these acts, or anyone that will openly admit, like a fucking idiot, that they do it. In fact, if they decide they're going to confront me about it, I would not be against giving my full address and seeing these idiots show up. Chances are they won't show up, because if a man's going to beat the shit out of a woman, he obviously is a coward, because yes, women can be strong, but it's often viewed that women are the fairer species, ergo they're the weaker species. This is just a perception thing again. So if you're going to take this idea that you can beat the crap out of these women because they are weaker, well then I guess I'm going to use your logic against you. Because if you're beating the shit out of a woman, I'm going to view you as incredibly weak, and guess what? I'm going to take full advantage of it. And no worries, my friends. I won't murder anybody. I don't believe in murder. No, 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 no. I would prefer that my opponents live on and actually have time to think about what they did and time to feel shame over being laid out so easily. And let's face it, if they die, I mean, there's no punishment really. I mean, death is the ultimate release from any potential torture that could go on. I would like for the name of Merrick to be spoken by these fucking twatards, or whatever the hell you want to call them, as a word of fear. Because let's face it, they gain control over these women because these women fear them. Well, fear can work the same way against them, and fear itself is actually the greatest poison a man can experience, or woman, whatever. Because fear causes us to react in certain ways. Most of the time it's running away, getting scared, crumbling like a coward. I'm quite different. I have the advantage of being able to turn on and off my emotions as I see fitting in the situation. Will I feel fear if they pull a gun, whatever? Probably, but I'm not likely to react on it. I'm likely to go, okay, you're a big man beating on women. Well, here, how about I show you what a real big man can do? Well, not very big, but I think you see my point. Big ego. But that's another thing. These idiots you think they're big and tough, but when they face someone who's actually trained to hurt people, if necessary, they don't realize the greatness involved in actual speed and technique. It's the whole show muscle bullshit. Oh yeah, I'm bigger than you. I'm obviously going to beat you in a fight. Chances are, if you're one of those assholes that beats on women and you body build and all that shit, that's show muscle. Now, what you're doing is you're packing on all that weight. If you focus too much on your upper body strength, you're putting a lot of stress on your knees. That's going to weaken your knees. The way I look at it is, how do you fell a tree? You take out its trunk. The weakened knees are easily taken out by a low-lying side kick, roundhouse, what have you. A dragon tail sweep. These are such things I'd be using against these guys, unless of course they're in a wheelchair to begin with. But I guess my point is, these ass fucks need to stop beating on women and treating them like they're garbage, because it's really starting to piss me off, and I don't get angry very easily. But when I do, people tend to bleed. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye because I've pretty much ranted long enough on this disrespect thing. Hopefully you all agree with me. And you know what? This presidency thing's coming up. You can vote for me for president. Or wait, no you can't because I'm not old enough. Damn. But hey, why not make me emperor, right?